The John Wick franchise is one of the best new franchises out there. There is no nostalgia used, just good action, especially with that honorary pencil, and the always charismatic Keanu Reaves. Whoa. Throughout these first four movies, there has been a lot of great world building, and it has left a lot of room for expansion, and that is what I want to talk about today. So let's get into this. Before we get into the video today, remember to like, comment, and subscribe below as your support will go a long way. This video is sponsored by my Patreon, which will be linked down below in the description. Now, this will be a spoiler-filled video about the whole John Wick series, so take this as your warning. So, the first series I would want is a John Wick prequel. This for me would expand on the various stories and myths that have made John so feared amongst the criminal underworld. Throughout the movie, we are told only little snippets of John's backstory and hints we can gain through details such as his tattoos. This show would see our very own Jonathan as a child in the Ruska Roma, learning his skills and about the high table. His relationship with his adoptive mother, the director, and sister Katya would be the main focus until the day he escapes the life with the Tarasov mob, led by Vigo, and settles down with his wife. This journey would cover a lot, and would also allow us to see John build his connections with a younger Winston, as well as other managers at the Continental, and finally why John has such focus and drive to take down anyone in his way. But most importantly, why he is the most feared assassin in the world. Throughout the John Wick series, we have been introduced to many longtime friends of John, each with their own personal histories, reputations, and specialties. A series can be formed around their backstories, either as an anthology series, crossovers, or individual spin-offs. First, let's start with Aurelio, the underworld's main New York mechanic, known for detailing and customizing cars, as well as making them disappear. So he is a central figure for any heists, transports, and getaways. This means he is a very central figure in most crimes that happen in the city. A figure so central has some amazing stories to tell. Next we have the king himself, the Bowery King. A crime lord who doesn't have a seat at the table, but desperately wants one. The Bowery King runs the streets, literally, as his whole gang pretends to be homeless to get access to information, safety, and targets many others can't. Honestly, I want this series just because the story of a group of hobo henchmen is just so unique and intriguing that it must be explored. Overall, we haven't learned much about the Bowery King or his operations. We do know that he was a target of John before and somehow managed to survive, which is a rarity. This inspired him to go on to take control of the soup kitchen. He then informally became an adjutant to the high table, bound under their rules but operating independently. Another rarity. This is something that must be explored by someone. Now we must talk about Halle Berry, someone who trained extensively for John Wick but was only present for a few scenes in John Wick 3. Her character's name is Sophia Al-Azwar and is the current manager of the Continental Casablanca in Morocco with her two combat-trained Belgian Malinois by her side. Her history entangled with John after she had a daughter that John helped keep safe. She doesn't know where her daughter is as she feels it would be the best course to keep her safe. A team up with Mr. Nobody, not that Mr. Nobody, this Mr. Nobody, who has also combat trained Belgian Malinois, would be great. The story would be about a threat that has been placed upon Sophia's daughter. Unfortunately, due to the anonymity of the daughter's location and John's death, there is no way to find her. That's where Mr. Nobody comes in, a skill tracker with a mutual adoration for Belgian Malinois that helps Sophia find her daughter. I feel this would work best as a movie and would be able to expand upon Sophia and Mr. Nobody's story, as we have only seen a snippet of them so far. Finally, we need a conclusion to the after-credit scene shown in John Wick Chapter 4, with Kane and Akira, the daughter of Koji, the manager of Continental Osaka. The end credit scene showed that Akira had tracked down Kane's daughter, Mia, after Kane had killed Akira's dad. Although Akira wants her revenge, the real reason why Kane had to kill Koji is because of the high table. Just like most of the stories here, it seems that the high table is the reason for most of the problems, as exposed by the John Wick debacle. Anyway, Kane exposes this to Akira, so the unlikely duo team up to help bring down the table that used Mia to blackmail Kane and killed Akira's father. Kane trains Akira to improve her combat and to be a smarter fighter. She becomes his daughter from the underworld, as Maya isn't involved in that lifestyle. Akira takes on Kane's unorthodox fighting style as the hatred she has for Kane slowly dissipates, taking on the table and trying to hold on to and separate the Continental she has inherited. This is what I hope the spin-off movie left open from the post-credit scene will be about. The next piece of John Wick lore that needs to be expanded upon is the High Table. The High Table is a council of 12 crime lords who govern the underworld's most powerful criminal organizations. They are the reason why the Continentals are safe havens for the underworld. They keep track of all markers, promises, dealings, and bounties. Respected by all and led by the Elder, the High Table is influential, but very little is known about the members and its structure. This definitely needs to be expanded upon, focusing on the High Table's struggles to maintain its influence and secrecy to prevent other factions from overtaking them. Even individual members have their own issues as dangers from within the table, as each member tries to get the upper hand and prevent internal issues as seen by the plot of John Wick 2. The High Table would be a highly political drama, but with action, intensity, and combat, which the John Wick series is known for. Now, there is one thing that is holding this series back, and it's the High Table's mysteriousness that helps to set the tone of the John Wick movies. Making the High Table too incompetent would undo the feelings of dread the High Table imposes across the 4 movies. Now there are 2 most interesting times to set this movie. Either at the formation of the High Table, as we see the problems most likely a war of the 12 families that lead to its formation, or we can deal with the current aftermath of the John Wick series and the chaos it has caused. People have seen the table as weak and are rebelling against its powers, and many of its forces have been eliminated by the Wick debacle. Many are seeing that now is the time to create a new world order. So there are many families that make up the underworld, such as the Ruska Roma, Triads, Sicilian Mafia, Dragreta, Camorra, and more. We haven't even come across yet. These families not only work together, but work against each other. They are powerful and have many goals that can influence the world we live in. With their vast resources, we can finally see why there are so many assassins. Seriously, there are way too many assassins and we need to have an explanation why. Anyway, this series would be a great way to delve into how the families operate. As of right now, there's a film called Ballerina starring Ana de Armas, set to release in 2024, that takes place between John Wick 3 and 4. This film will be about highly skilled ballerina assassins called Rooney, who is a part of the Ruska Roma family, who is out for revenge on the people who killed her family. This movie sounds exciting, but is following the John Wick formula fairly religiously, and I believe this series can expand further than that. More than just a revenge for a personal wrong, but more of a generational feud that pits family against family, that challenges the hierarchy of power in the John Wick universe. Now, it has recently been announced that we will be getting a Continental miniseries set in the 1970s to be released on Peacock streaming service. Specifically, it will be following John Wick's friend and manager of the New York Continental, Winston Scott, as he forms the establishment which will become a safe haven for assassins. Throughout the miniseries, real-world events such as the Winter of Discontent and the American Mafia's rise to economic power will be featured. I think this could expand past the miniseries by allowing us to see other Continentals globally, such as the Japanese Continental seen in John Wick Chapter 4. This would also help us see how the global network of the Continental was formed and why it is such a necessary addition to the underworld. Finally, a spin-off of the Continental could be an anthology series which follows various patrons of the Continental as they complete their own assignments and cause their own amount of trouble in the underground world. So that's my thoughts on where the John Wick series can go next. There are plenty of stories to tell and expand upon. With the streaming wars currently ongoing, I'm sure a few of these ideas will be used going forward, and I think there's a strong base for the world of John Wick going forward. Do you agree with me, Or if you have your own opinions, put it down in the comment section and let's have a discussion. And remember to like, subscribe, comment, and join my Patreon. Thank you for making it to the end and for your support. Bye. By the way, I know the last John Wick movie was the final chapter, but you gotta bring him back. Please, he can't go down like this. Bring him back. The world always needs more Wick. Baba Yaga must live on.